Here are the ingredients we will be needing for the hot cross buns. I have here some milk, a mixture of baking powder and yeast. I have here 1 egg, some margarine or butter can be used. I have some leftover blended fruits from Christmas, so I'm using that. Here I have my spices, which include grounded ginger, cinnamon powder, grated nutmeg, and of course a pinch of salt. I have here some brown sugar, some mixed essence, and I also have some bitters, Angostura bitters, and of course I have the flour. So let's start. To a skillet or a pot, I am adding in the milk, and I am going to add the milk and the butter together simply to melt the butter. Alright, so you want to make sure that your heat is on low, because you don't want the milk to boil. You simply want it just to be warm enough so that it melts the butter or the margarine. So now that I have added the margarine, I'm going to mix that around until it's all melted. And as I said, you don't want your milk mixture to boil. So once it's finished, I will come back and show you what it looks like. So here it is all done, and I did remove it and place it into a measuring cup, as you see here. And it's a bit on the hot side. It's too hot for the yeast, so I will allow it to cool or get to warm, and I will come back and show you. So it has cooled considerably. It's still warm, but it has cooled considerably. Next, I'm going to add in the yeast to help it activate. Now you can use more yeast for a more fluffier, softer textured bun, but I am not using so much yeast, so hence the reason why I'm also using baking powder. Once I have adding the yeast, I'm going to give that a really good mix, and next I am going to go in with about a teaspoon of the sugar that I have and give that a quick stir as well, and then we would allow it to sit on the countertop for about 10 minutes until it has proofed. So I want you to comment below in the comment section and let us know how you make your hot cross buns for Easter. So while our yeast is proofing, I am next moving on to the dry ingredients. I have just added my baking powder to the flour, and I'm following up with the spices and the salt. Next, I'm going in with the sugar. And once all of these ingredients have been added, I'm going to give that a really good mix until everything is combined. And next I will set that aside and move on to the next step. Here I have my egg, and to my egg I'm going to add in the mixed essence. And the reason why we're using mixed essence is it really does give it a really nice flavor. And I'm going to follow up with a dash of the Angostura, Angostura bitters. This basically helps with the flavor profile as well. Once that has been added, give it a really good mix until everything is combined, and set that aside until you're ready for it. So here I have a large bowl, and I'm going to pour in my dry mixture in there. And next I'm going to follow by adding in my wet mixture. So I'm first going to start off with the yeast mixture, and I'm going to follow up with the egg mixture. Now you can mix both of them together, but I just chose to do them separately today. I just felt like doing that, but it can be mixed together. So once that has been added, I'm going to give that a really good mix, and with the flour you want to add as needed. I will leave the link in the description box below where you can find the recipe with the correct measurements and so forth, but you want to add flour as needed. So I'm just adding in flour here, and I'm just going to mix that until it becomes a sticky dough or a sticky ball. And I am going to go in with the blended fruits. Now you can use whole fruits as well. I just prefer my fruits to be blended. So I'm just adding that in, and I'm going to give that a really good mix until everything is combined, because you want it to be nicely combined inside your dough. and continue to add flour as needed. So once I'm done, I will come back to show you. So here I am basically finishing up kneading that dough, and it's nice and sticky, and it's also smooth, as you can see here. Now what you want to do next is to lightly grease a bowl and place it there and allow it to sit so that the gluten and everything could develop for about an hour or so. And I will do that, and once it's rested nicely, I will come back to show you the next step. So here is our dough after about roughly an hour, and it's well rested. The next step is to place it onto a countertop. So here I have some flour on my countertop already. I'm just going to take the dough and give that a little knead around it, not for too long, just enough to loosen it up. The gluten has already been developed into this dough, so yeah, I'm just going to give that a quick mix, and it's still sticky. Alright, so mine, it would not be as sticky as I did not add a lot of water, 1, and 2, it does not have a lot of yeast in there. So as I said, you can replace the half teaspoon of the baking powder with 1 teaspoon altogether of the yeast for more fluffier texture. Using my bench scraper, I'm going to cut it in half and then cut it into smaller pieces. Once I would have done that, I'm just going to fold it around in my hand into a smooth ball, and once I am finished with that, I will come back to show you the next step. So don't forget to comment below, y'all, and let us know how you make your buns, your hot cross buns, that is. All right, so here it is all done, and next I'm going to place it onto a baking sheet with parchment paper, and mine gave me about 4 large ones, and you want to put them slightly apart, about maybe an inch or 2 apart, because it will raise, especially once it goes into the oven. So once I would have done that, the next step, as you can see, I'm just going to show you briefly what it looks like here. So this is all 4 of them, and the next step is to make the cross. So I'm just starting off by just gluing in a deep cut in the center, and then going to the sides, and that gives you the cross effect. Alright, so once that would have been done, we are going to allow it to rest for about 45 minutes again before adding it, or sorry, placing it into our preheated oven. While that is happening, we'll move on to the glaze. So today I'm going to be making a sugar glaze. Now traditionally it's an icing sugar glaze, but I am doing the sugar glaze today, so I am adding in some water to my pot, and my fire, or my heat, sorry, is on medium high heat. Next I'm going in with the brown sugar, followed up with some spice, which includes bay leaf, some grated nutmeg, some cinnamon powder, as well as some cloves. And I'm just going to stir this until all of the sugar is melted, and we are going to allow it to reduce to about half, or a little under half, until it has thickened, I should say. Alright, so we will continue to monitor our glaze and then check on our buns, and it actually is risen and ready to return to the, or go into the oven. Why am I saying return? It is not going yet. Anyway, so we are going to place it into a preheated oven at 350 degrees for roughly 40 to 45 minutes, and of course that depends on your oven. Now we are back to checking our glaze, and it has started to come together really well, so I did allow it to go for a few more minutes, and this is what it looks like. It's actually finished, so I am going to remove it from the heat and allow it to sit until I'm ready for it, and that way the flavor will marry together and come through. So I am going to allow it to cool slightly and then check on my buns. So here are my hot cross buns. Now, as I said, this is not your traditional hot cross buns. All right, this is how I make my hot cross buns. So you can comment below and let us know how you do yours, as I would have mentioned before. So don't come for me, guys. So we are going to move on next. While it's still very hot, the glaze, I did pour it out into a bowl so that you can see what it looks like. Oh, the flavors are amazing, y'all. So next time I'm just going to take my pastry brush and brush that glaze all over the hot cross buns, and trust me, oh my word, that glaze was simply divine. Yes, so I will continue to do that, and once it's done I will come back and show you what it looks like. So here is our hot cross buns, are nicely glazed. Look at that color, and you can see how nice and sticky it looks. So it's still very hot. I will allow it to cool completely and then come back and show you the final plating. Here is our hot cross buns, just the way I make it, and as I said, if you want it to be more distinctive, then you'll need to do the icing sugar glaze, but I did not do it. I just do a simple brown sugar glaze. All right, so this is what our hot cross buns look like. I really do hope that you did enjoy today's video. Please let us know how you like it as well, and don't forget to subscribe, y'all, and please like the videos and share. It would really do our channel good, and you know, we really do appreciate your support as always. So until the next time, see you in our next video. Also, happy Easter, y'all. Happy Easter, and take some time to reflect on the goodness of Christ, and be safe as always. Bye.